We're going to increase the number. We had the problem was that the refugee part was working on the crisis that ended up on the border with young people. We couldn't do two things at once for them. So now we're going to increase the number.
Joe Biden finally admitting there's a crisis at the border as he defends his initial moves on the refugee cap.
Well, this is, though, after 26 days without a press conference for Kamala Harris, who is supposedly in charge of the border surge. Joe Biden has called on her to fix it. We'll see.
Our next guest says she never should have gotten this role in the first place. Fox News contributor and the Hill media opinion columnist Joe Concha joins us now to explain. So, Joe, why should she never have gotten this job to begin with?
Oh, there's several reasons. I wouldn't even call it a crisis anymore, Jed. I would call it a catastrophe at the border. And her past statements should have disqualified her from the president even considering her, despite the fact that she was the vice president. She compared ICE to the KKK. She said that illegal border crossings should be legal. She said these things as a senator and as a candidate. So if those are your two positions, how do you possibly fix a situation like this? And look, it's painfully apparent now that you will not see Kamala Harris at the border. You'll see the Detroit Lions in the Super Bowl before you see Kamala Harris at the border. And as Will and probably Lawrence knows, the Lions have never been to a Super Bowl, just like you'll probably never see the vice president there, because she'll have to answer questions around her past policy positions on what's going on at the border. And this seems to be something that, even though she's in charge even of the diplomacy side in terms of Guatemala and Nicaragua and Mexico, she hasn't even traveled there to speak about this. And don't tell me it's because of COVID restrictions, because at last check, she is fully vaccinated, and the CDC says it's perfectly fine for her to travel or to meet with people indoors, even without a mask. So there goes that excuse, Jed.
Sounds like a segment on the Will Cain podcast. Jared Goff and the Lions, or Kamala Harris? Which reaches success first? I might have to do that, Joe. Joe, do they want to fix it? Do they want to fix it? Putting someone in charge like Kamala Harris, who, as you just pointed out, has a history of showing really no interest in a secure border, it really leads to the question, do they want to fix it?
That's the question, right? And you think about Kamala Harris personally. There are more than a few people that believe that she will be the Democratic nominee in 2024 and not Joe Biden, because then you're talking about an 80-something Joe Biden, and maybe he just wanted to serve one term. He hasn't completely and totally definitively said that he will run for president again then. So then people will look at, okay, in terms of your accomplishments, Kamala Harris, what did you do, for instance, with the biggest responsibility that you had as vice president in terms of fixing our border catastrophe? And she won't probably have many answers, because, again, you look at these facilities, dangerously overcrowded. You hear reports now of sexual assault of young girls. This is the same candidate in Harris, by the way, who compared these facilities that you're currently seeing, where you're not seeing because there's a media blackout, but the pictures that do get out concerning babies in cages, she called it. Well, now she's not doing much to help those babies in cages. So this will be her signature failure, and any Republican that runs against her, like a Ron DeSantis or even a Donald Trump, will be very quick to point this out, and she's not going to have many answers to talk about.
Joe, but did they need to really even appoint someone to do this job? I mean, Mayorkas, he knows. He was the deputy before. Joe Biden knows. He was the vice president. They know what they need to do to get a handle of this. Are they just refusing to?
It seems they are. I think Mayorkas has been set up to be the fall guy, Lawrence, to be honest with you. Like, they could always just point to him as saying that, okay, well, he's in charge of DHS. This is his responsibility. But it just seems like they hope this will go away eventually. But here we are in April. The weather will get even warmer in May. This is only going to get worse. But you have to have a media that is demanding accountability here. And that means access to all facilities, access to all Border Patrol agents, and an interest in actually covering it on major places like the evening news, where, believe it or not, they're still getting 25 million viewers a night when you add up CBS, ABC, NBC. Fox is covering it. Obviously, we're talking about it, but MSNBC and CNN don't seem to have much of an interest there. So until the New York Times and the Washington Post and everybody in unison gets together like they did with Donald Trump in terms of what they called a crisis, I think they could get away with it because they have a complicit media that doesn't seem to have much interest in solving this problem, or at least covering it.
The administration has essentially said, look, we'll give you access when we get ready. So I won't hold my breath on that. Thanks so much for joining the program.
Thanks.